Welcome to Last Week in Warframe, a series where I keep you updated on the past week of Warframe, from announcements made by DE that don't necessarily warrant their own videos to community fan art, posts, and updates. So without further ado, let's go over these announcements and news from the 3rd of February to the 9th. Starting this week's episode off, we had Devstream 123. The first announcement came in the form of a new upcoming event for Warframe's 6th year anniversary. The event will feature 3 different mini alerts that will play out over the months of February and March. Upon the community reaching the community goal of killing a specific number of enemies during these weekend alerts, new double affinity, credit, and resource events will pop up during March. Individual players will also unlock 10 unique relics that will contain parts for Saren Prime, the Nakana Prime, and Spira Prime. The first weekend starts on the 15th of February at 2 PM Eastern Time and is titled The War on Lancers. The individual reward comes in the form of 10 Meso S9 relics, and the bonus unlock, the community unlock, will be the double affinity weekend on the 9th and 10th of March. The second weekend comes in the form of War on Crewmen, and it starts on the 22nd of February at 2 PM Eastern Time. The individual player reward is 10 Axii N6 relics, and the community-wide reward is a double credit weekend on the 16th and 17th of March. The third and final weekend alert comes in the form of War on Charges, and it will start on the 1st of March at 2 PM Eastern Time. The individual player reward will be 10 Neo S10 relics, and the community-wide unlock will be a double resource weekend on the 23rd and 24th of March. Now, those 3 alerts do not take into account the final anniversary alert, where players will receive a new deck skin. Now, we have no information on what the new deck skin will be, just that it will be a skin. And you can unlock that new skin by logging into Warframe between March 27th and the 13th of April. You'll also be able to acquire the previous deck's items during that period of time as well. Now, also in Devstream 123 was the announcement that the Chesa Kubrow will be receiving a new precept, something similar to Necros' Desecrate, but not as consistent as his ability. Now, they also stated that the auto-install mod feature will be updated to provide more sensible mod suggestions. Rebecca also commented that solo extraction in endless missions with groups will be arriving in the next mainline update. The delay for weapon switching will also be more responsive for clients after the next mainline update, and the enemy damage reaction animations are also being updated. They showed a number of clips showcasing its current work-in-progress state. They also showed off Atlas's Deluxe skin in-game with his model. Jeff also commented that he will be receiving custom golems. I can't remember if we've covered it on this series, but there it is. He will be receiving custom golems with the Deluxe skin. They also showcased the in-game model of the Wisp frame, as well as her alternate helmet, and she will of course release after Hildryn, which is a Warframe we'll talk about in a second. Now, the Wisp frame showcase also gave us a look at her idle animation, and Jeff said during this period of time that she will be receiving her own unique running animation. Now, during a small segment of questions, Steve did comment that at least one more Orb Mother heist will be released, and that they do have plans for Operator Melee. However, according to Steve and Scott, the community as a whole may not like how it goes down. As for the Warframe Hildryn, they showcased her unique Syndana that will be coming with her pack, as well as her signature Arc-Wing weapon that once again will be coming with her pack. This weapon is beam-based, and it does look pretty nice with its particle effects. And Rebecca also showcased her alternate helmet through a post on Twitter. Now, as for her abilities, for those who are unaware, she will be using her shields as an energy source. Hildryn does not have energy, and energy pickups will grant her shields and will kickstart her shield recharge. Now, for each level you earn on Hildryn when ranking her up, she will gain shields, as once again she does not have energy, and as for her passive, it is shield gating. Scott mentioned later in the stream that they are only applying this to Hildryn in the current state, just to see how it plays out with the community and to see if they can fully release it across the board. Shield gating in regards to Hildryn will apply to both her base shields and her overshields. As for her ability set, her first ability is BailFire, and this is a hold-to-charge weapon that can be modded similar to an exalted weapon. Her second ability is titled Shield Pillage. It produces an aura that expands in a radius around the player, and it will return back to the player after a period of time, or at the user's will. This aura will absorb enemy shields and armor, while also removing status effects from the player and their teammates if the aura hits it. Her third ability is titled Haven. This is a toggle ability that drains Hildryn's shields, and it will also damage enemies that are within its range. For teammates that go inside its range as well, it will regenerate and recharge their shields. Hildryn will also have a unique dash animation similar to Limbo, where she produces shields that will pop out when rolling in whatever direction. Her fourth ability is titled Aegis Storm. This is a aerial mode or a hover mode, and it will create pillars that will either deal damage to them or simply crowd control them. The higher the player floats, the more damage will be dealt to the pillared enemies, however the range of the ability will be reduced. In the opposite case, where Hildryn is close to the floor, her ability will be focused on crowd controlling, and the damage will be reduced, however the range will be increased. Now, while using her Aegis Storm, the player can use Hildryn's other abilities, with the exception of the second ability. There was also a small little peek preview of the Opticor Vandal, and based on Rebecca's comments, there will be an upcoming event that will reward it. Moving on from Warframes, they showcase the Railjack Dojo dock that players will have to build in their clan dojo. This will house the Railjack ship and will also be able to customize and perform maintenance and upgrade our ships in this room. Each player will have their own Railjack. It will appear in this dojo hub. However, you will have to be in a clan to upgrade and have a Railjack ship. New cosmetics were also showcased, and they can only be earned by playing the game. They cannot be purchased via platinum or credits, and they are cosmetic foot trails or body effects such as smoke, blood, electricity, and more. Also tied to those new cosmetics will be a new emote that will showcase an accolade that the player has earned. The team also showcased an upcoming replacement to the current laser doors that will be arriving in the Corpus Gas City remaster, showcasing obstacles and patterns that will be generated. According to Scott and Steve, upon successfully passing the lasers, the player will receive a small gameplay boost, and the lasers won't knock down or knock back the player upon hitting them. They also showcased more of the Corpus Gas City remaster, and due to the case that we've seen most of this footage beforehand, I will leave links in the description down below to the timestamp sections of the showcase if you do want to see all of the footage. They also commented that a number of new set mods will be coming for the Corpus Gas City remaster that can be obtained in that area. They will be the Kestrel, Raptor, and Spider mod sets. For a full screenshot, there was a collection posted by a Reddit user, Candace Camera, and that is up on your screen right now. Now, Dee also asked the Design Council to provide suggestions on 2 new Kavat breeds. As for Melee 3.0, we all know that it will be coming in sections, and they showcase Phase 1 in Devstream 123. So Phase 1 will include new visual and sound effects, as well as the directional ground slams and quick melee. Now, quick melee will be simple. If you use your melee button while your weapon is equipped, you will go straight into the melee mode, and you can start your combos from there on out. And if you shoot while meleeing, that will simply push you into your gun mode. It will be an instant switch. Now, Phase 1 may possibly come out as early as next week, so be prepared for those changes. In reply to a tweet, Steve did state that Phase 2 will contain the whole Tenno Rage channeling rework. Now, outside of Devstream 123, for PC players, we had Hotfix 24.2.13. This brought a new addition of a clan role of Fabricator. When enabled, this allows players to replicate clan research, and of course, if it's disabled, you cannot do so. It is on by default, so if you are a clan warlord and you want to change that, you can now do so. The Foundry also saw a change to a number of weapons cost for rushing. As for changes, they increased the Conservation Tranq Rifle's clip size to 3, they restored the ability of controller players to spam crouch, as well as fixing the issue where you couldn't bullet jump from a stationary position on controller. They also toned down the controller trigger sensitivity slightly, and they made improvements towards the minimap marker pathing and adjusted the overly loud ice crack sounds in the Corpus Ice Planet tileset. As for the fixes in Hotfix 24.2.13, it is up on the screen. Now for Hotfix 24.2.14, they fixed certain cases of not receiving Ghoul Purge rewards, they fixed some enemies spawning in ceilings and walls in Fisher missions, they fixed grinding not working on K-drives when using a controller, and they've made fixes towards AI spawning and navigation in the Grenier Forest and Corpus Outpost tilesets. Now, across the board, this is PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Nintendo Switch. The Valentine's Day event has returned. It will end on the 18th of February at 2 PM Eastern Time. During this period of time, players will be able to pick up the Valentine's Day color palette for 1 credit in the market, the Eros Arrow skin for 5,000 credits in the market. In the case of the Eros Arrow skin, it is just a gear item, and you will have to put that into your gear wheel and then use it at the start of a mission in order to get the Eros Arrow skin. It will only apply for that mission, and you'll have to repeat the process for the next mission that you play when using a bow. There's also the Eros Oro ornament, which is 50,000 credits, and the Dawnwind Glyph pack, which is 80 platinum, or you can buy the contents of the pack for 20 platinum each. During this period of time, there will also be a 50% discount applied to the following items: the Zouge, Attica, Cernos, Daiku, Lens, Mark 1 Paris, Mutalisk Cernos, Paris, and Ballistica, and the following cosmetics as well: the Cataril, Mir, and Silas Arrow skin, the Ballistica Forest Camo skin, the Ballistic Takulu skin, the Daiku Amolu, Paris Forest Camo, Paris Kintsugi, and Paris Nocturne skins. They also released a Grenier Queens t-shirt in theme of Valentine's Day, and you can purchase that, and it will be removed on the 14th of February at 11:59 PM Eastern Time. Console players on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, you guys will get update 24.2.12 on the 11th of February. For more information about the update, make sure to read the forum post, it will be in the description. Same thing goes for Nintendo Switch players. You guys now have update 24, which is Fortuna Part 1. You guys have everything from the Mask of the Revenant up to Fortuna Part 1, so enjoy all of that content, and for all the information about what's contained in that update, make sure to read the full forum post. A link will be in the description down below. Now, something called Warframe Community Zine. This is a collection of a number of artists, up to 50, and you can apply to possibly join in on this production, and it consists of 50 artists, writers, and layout designers. The applications will end on the 11th of February. Now, once it's all done and dusted, a digital copy will be available to the Warframe community. However, the 50 participants will get printed copies. Now, in regards to the Stalker mode, DE will be putting in a opt-in, opt-out feature once it has been implemented into the game, as stated by DE Bear. Now, moving on to developer tweets. First thing isn't a tweet, it's actually an Ask Me Anything by Digital Extremes and Panic Button for the Nintendo Switch launch of Fortuna. So if you do want to go through all the comments from Panic Button and Digital Extremes in terms of replies, you can do so. A link will be in the description. However, there were 2 comments that I do want to point out. So the first was confirmation that they are still working on and planning to release a bounty vendor for the Plains of Eidolon in the Plains of Eidolon map. Instead of having the player go through the Cetus Gate and go through all the load times, they are still working on that. So for those wondering if that's still in development, it obviously is. The second came in a response about tactical alerts and the treasure ship alerts. So they did comment that tactical alerts will live again in 2019, if according to plan, and that treasury ship alerts never really took off, so we probably won't see them again. As for developer tweets, we had DE George, he's the audio director of Warframe, providing a small little snippet of upcoming Warframe music. I'll play that in the video right now. We then had a series of tweets from Steve. So the first came in the form of a short little video preview of the Gas City remaster, and in reply to his showcase, someone was asking if the Corpus Gas City remaster will contain the Nova rendering tech that he talked about a year ago, and he said yes. So someone was asking how you can still channel and shoot at the same time. Steve said you can't. Think of this as using the attack buttons to attack and switch. You'll need to attack into melee to enable channeling, and then stay there to continue. He then gave us an outline on what the phases were. So phase 1 is insta-switch, aimed ground slams and new visual and sound effects. And phase 2 will be the tenor rage, the channeling rework. For those wondering if there will be a legacy mode or a legacy option for these changes coming in Melee 3.0, that won't be the case. He then tweeted out, if you're worried about keybinds, I get it. However, so far it feels like gun and sword flow versus dedicated sword mode, and that makes mid-flow keybind changes mentally taxing. We will listen, but you may agree with hands-on soon. Thank you for the feedback. Another player asked if we could possibly get more options for keyboard and mouse on consoles, and Steve did reply yes. Another player asked if they'll be looking into operator swapping and making it more local, and he did reply yes. A player then asked if door opening would be in the same area, and Steve did say someone was working on this. He will check. We do have no information from that point of the tweet, so if he does comment on that, we'll have to wait till next week. The final tweet, someone asking if there was a reason why the loot detector mods do not work in Archwing or K-Drive, and Steve replied, we'll make a note to check. If you found the video informative, make sure to leave a like. If you think I could improve upon the series in any way, shape or form, make sure to leave it in the comment section down below. The glyph codes for the channel are up on your screen right now, and if you missed out on last week's episode, make sure to click the annotation on your screen right now. It'll take you right to it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.